Salut, c'est Géraldine, bienvenue sur Comme une Française TV, Sound French, even to the French. Today let's learn about learning. Once upon a time I didn't speak English, so I want to share with you some of the small tips that I used to learn the language, so you can use them to improve your French as well. It works with any language actually. Why do I call them dump tips? Because you will feel awkward when you start, but I assure you the results are worth it. Reading aloud to yourself. La comptabilisation d'une vente à crédit. En règle générale, la réception de la commande d'un client n'a pas d'impact sur le patrimoine d'une entreprise. Bla 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 bla. Reading is important to learn and you won't really expand your vocabulary if you don't read lots of French books and articles. You can find a short selections to start with my older video, French books I love and recommend. However, reading has a drawback. You quickly get to the point where you can recognize the word before your brain actually reads every syllable. That's useful and fast, but sometimes, just sometimes, you should take your time to read it aloud. Why? Well, reading aloud forces your brain and your mouth to do their homework. You can't leave behind the words that you don't understand. You have to learn the pronunciation of those long words, and you can even find out that you don't really know how to pronounce some of the shorter words. It can guide you with the intonation and rhythm of the language, and finally hearing those words said aloud helps you remember them. My tip for today: take a timer in hand, set it to 3, 4 or 5 minutes and take the time to read aloud the next book or article you find in French. It doesn't have to be la comptabilité pour les nuls. Think in French on purpose. I used to talk to myself and think in English on purpose. And, well, to be honest, I still do. Yes, it seems a bit weird, but no one's there to judge you if you're on your own, so don't worry and do it. It helped my spontaneity so much. Whenever I wanted to voice an idea, I had already thought about it in English before, though the words flowed more naturally. When you've already done vos devoirs à la maison, your homework of finding the grammar and the vocabulary, you lose that lag in your speech. And if you say them out loud to yourself, at least to yourself, your brain will remember them more efficiently. My tip for this: try to think in French for the rest of this video. You can pause if you realize you've fallen back to English. Repeat the dialogues in movies. Movie lines are a great source for sounding more French. People are being paid to write and deliver them, so they can be both clear and authentic. Once again, if you rehearse these sentences, the grammar and vocabulary are already dealt with. It will greatly help your fluency and general confidence. If you have an advanced level, listen carefully to the accent and the tone of the voice as well, and try to reproduce that too. You might think you sound dumb, but I did it before and it pays off. That's a big advantage over simply reading a book. And if you throw an iconic line or reference in a casual conversation, you will impress your French audience. My tip: here are a few cult movies for catchphrases. Le Père Noël est une ordure, Le Père Noël est une ordure, La Cité de la Peur, La Cité de la Peur, Les Tontons Flingueurs, and many others. Ask your French friends, they will be very, very happy to share their favorite film culte. For more ordinary lines, try everything. Movies are great, but also series and ads. These are very inspiring too. You will notice the difference in vocabulary and tones used in French. Switch your everyday services to French. Switch Gmail or any other mail service and your phone settings or les paramètres in French to French. It's a very simple tip, but it's a guarantee you will have French every day, at least for a few words. And it will remind you about my other tips as well. My tip: pause this video and change your phone settings right now. You will have to pick up a specific vocabulary quickly, or else you will have to sign off all technology, which could lead us to my next tip. Take notes in French. Lists are often the same. Groceries, to-dos, etc. They contain essential but recurring terms. In French, I often tell students, no need to learn the imparfait du subjonctif if you don't know how to buy groceries in French. When you learn a language, always give priority to practicality. What do you need the most? This is why writing la liste de courses, your groceries list, including numbers if you wish, your to-dos, and also taking notes in French will really boost your everyday French. You will master quickly the most important words and verbs, the ones you really need every day, and writing them, yes, by hand will help you to remember them and will force you to take this time for each syllable. My tip, write your next to-do list in French, and yes, it can start with acheter une baguette. Using sequences. An American friend told me a few years ago that she used to listen to her horoscope in French each morning to improve her comprehension. Why? Because it's always the same structure, the sign and 2 or 3 phrases, and mostly always the same words. Also, it's a very short format, comes back every hour in the morning on the radio, and it's not very important information. If you don't get it, ce n'est pas très grave, it's not a big deal. This is a very good idea actually to work on short recurring programs such as the weather forecast, the 3 minutes news flash, the traffic forecast. As a joke, the biggest challenge being la météo marine that even I don't fully understand. Et toi, did you use any of these systems to learn a language before? Do you use them in French? Can you apply these tips every day for a week? What's your own personal system? Share your experience in French if you dare in the comments below the video. We can all learn from your story. The comment section is the best place to start discussions and ask me questions. If you like this video, share it with your friends on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Help me spread the word about Comme une Française. Merci. Love France, dream of sounding French even to the French. Learn how with me, Géraldine, on commeunefrançaise.com, and subscribe to my email updates for exclusive tips on real life in France every Tuesday, plus an exclusive video lesson, Introduce Yourself in French. And it's free! Merci for watching Comme une Française TV, sound French even to the French. Allez, salut!